kind of the last kick of the season.
It really was.
It was a high and low season. So we will now look at the montage of the final series that lead us up to today.
Applin wants to get it over for Garlick. It's not a bad idea. Oh, and that might have gone in of known goal. Oh, it's gone in off Simic. Not a bad delivery at all. And it's been headed in. And I think it's Blishke that got it.
Great corner, great finish.
Here's Holmes. Good touch out for Applin again. He's onside. Holmes can not quite get there. But it just turns for Garlick. The flag has stayed down. Garlick has scored. And Burks have retaken the lead. Here's a chance for Williams. Can Williams get onto it? That's a fantastic goal by Burks. Terrific through ball by Holmes. Now that throw has come to Signoriello. And it's gone in. Bolton's made an error and Signoriello has scored. In the first minute. Oh, now, here's a chance for Bravo, and it's in! A shot early lead set. Well, it's Salisbury Inter. There's the ball from Macri. Macri gets the other side. Macri must score here. It's in. Well-timed run from Macri. Was just able to... Shot by Costanzo. Oh my goodness! That is some goal from Victoria Costanzo. Gets the ball in board to Styles, who flicks it over, and I reckon it's gone in. Or has it? It's been stabbed home in the end by Condon. Inter a level. Oh, skied. West Adelaide are into the grand final. Win the shootout by 4 goals to 3. Oh, well, commentator's curse is real. Hazelwood now with the chance to do it for commentator. Hazelwood! Emily Hazelwood has scored a massive goal for the 10 players of Adelaide Comets. Now, here is Applin trying to do just an Applin! It's in! Mariah Applin has scored from distance! There's players forward here for Burks. Rolando back to Holmes. Dylan Holmes, that's a really good ball. Applin! Mariah Applin says there's a Mariah Applin! Unbelievable! Francis, it's a cross in. Williams and leads it and Holmes has scored. Dylan Holmes has put Burks in front in the 50th minute. That's a good Chapel. Ball in. It's gone over Robertson and headed in by Hood. Is it going to go in? It is. And Hood has equalised for Salisbury Inter. Great delivery to create a goal scoring opportunity. This is a really good time for one for Inter. Ishitani, ball called has gone down. Shot by Ryder has gone into the body and it's been scraped home. Inter have scored and I think it was Nagashima.
So we just had to stay silent for that video there so we could hear Paul's remarkable commentary on that Burks goal. What a throwback there. But West Adelaide, of course, a team that needs no introduction any year, but let alone this year with their utter dominance across the competition. Only the one loss back in round 5 to Comets. We've seen about 77 goals across the season in the final series from them and 13 clean sheets out of possible 18 from Erin Murphy between the sticks. Paul, just dominant right across the park.
They really have been, and I think what's been really important is that after Rachel Quigley left to go overseas, West Adelaide kept scoring goals. She's going to finish the season as the top goal scorer, but West continued rolling on. That didn't faze them at all. Blackett has been in great goal scoring form, so has Mallory Mullen, and however, it was really just that game 2 weeks ago against Inter where they were stopped in their tracks a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you've touched on there, they have some big names in front of the goals. So 11 goals apiece for Blackett and Mallory Mullen, 17 for Quigley before she left in round 13. So a real reliance on those two up front. And for that dominance, we've seen them rewarded. They've got both trophies that have been on offer so far, the Cup and the Premiership. And what makes it even more special is that return home to Kilburn as well. So, Paul, what would it mean to them to, fill that trophy cabinet up at Kilburn with the treble?
It would be amazing for them. It's also, this year they celebrated the 10-year anniversary of their first ever WNPL game. That was played in 2014, so it really is a year of milestones for West. And to win the treble this year, and it would be for the second time in 3 seasons, that would be an absolutely stunning achievement.
Yeah, and a pretty good one for Blackett, who's captained them across the way there as well. So we throw, speaking of Blackett, we throw over to her. We interviewed her earlier for some final words as the captain of West Adelaide.
West captain Nicole Blackett, your 5th grand final. Does that make you more nervous knowing what it's like, or are you more a case of, I'm used to this now, I know what today's going to be like and I know how it's going to go?
I think I'm just as ready, especially having, the more you play, the more experience and you know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm ready.
It's been a magnificent year for West. You've won the Premiership, you've won the Cup, you're going for the treble. You really need to win this one. Is this like the cream on the cake, or would you still be able to look back on what was really a successful season if it didn't go your way?
Oh, I think regardless of the result, we should be extremely proud of our season so far and the girls and what we've done. But, yeah, we're absolutely looking for that 3rd trophy today.
It was a tough game against Inter a couple of weeks ago, probably the first team to stop you in your tracks for a bit, went to penalties. Have you thought a little bit about how that game went when you're planning for today?
Yeah, we look back at that game. It's definitely not our best football, so I think we can really bring some confidence in knowing that if we play our style and our best, then the results will come.
We've had a fantastic season, both personally and as a club. All the best today.
Thanks, Paul.
Now, in contrast to West Adelaide's dominance, we saw Inter kind of hit their stride a little bit later in the season, which is not uncommon for them. We saw them do that kind of last year as well, and they still won the championship. Bit of a mixed bag in terms of results, so 10 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, so a bit 50-50 there. But they still managed to finish 3rd and make it to the big dance. Paul, what do you credit that late change of form to?
Well, there were a couple of things. Obviously, they picked up some players after the commitments for the most recent A-League W season was over. Players like Zoe Tolland and Emily Condon were able to play. Katie Bowler as well, unfortunately, got injured. And also Nicole Calder didn't start the season with them, was able to come back. But also, there's a lot of chemistry among that group. They've been down this track before. They're very, very successful, hardened players, and they know how to get to this particular game.
Absolutely, and also in contrast to what we were talking about with West Adelaide, where they had 2 players who really dominated in front of goal. Inter is a little bit different; it's more evenly spread. So we've got Selena with 6 goals as their leading goal scorer, followed by Nishitani with 4. But then we've got 11 different players with 2 to 3 goals to their name. So just nice spread across the squad. Paul, is that kind of never say die attitude that we see from Inter, where everyone just seems to know how to get the job done, no matter what it takes? Absolutely,
and in fact, in some of the media during the week, Nicole Calder used exactly those words, never say die. And that's really their attitude. They're a really, really tough team to beat. They've gone behind in both grand finals they played, came back to win. They never know when they're beaten Inter, and it'll be very, very difficult, I think, for West. I mean, we acknowledge West are favourites, but Inter can really, really throw out the challenge, even if they don't have the better side on paper. Yeah, absolutely. And kind of speaking like that, it's funny that we come into this saying that they're the underdogs and that they're the dark horses of the competition when they are, in fact, reigning champions from last year. That's just how good West have been. So they, of course, won the championship last year. We're seeing some highlights of that on the screen now. And they were also the treble winners back in 2021 as well. And funny with those 2 games, they both required more than the 90 minutes to get the result. So we also know that Inter can go the distance as well. So, yeah, just how dominant do you think Inter can be on the day? They can be dominant on the day. I can't see them being dominant today because there's just so much experience in that West side. Most of these players have played in the grand final before. So I can't see Inter being dominant, but I can see them pulling it off.
Yeah, big call there from Paul. We caught up with Salisbury Inter captain Chantel Ryder earlier for a few final words.
Salisbury Inter's Chantel Ryder. Chantel, congratulations on making the grand final again. 3 and 4 years, Inter have been just a powerhouse club, I think it's fair to say now.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we've really prided ourselves on the last few years, is to really push to get into a position where we can be here on the final day.
2 months ago, things weren't looking so great. 5 wins, 6 losses, going into about round 12. Was there any difficulties at that time, or were you sort of thinking, well, now we have to work out how we're going to get to the big game?
Oh yeah, there was definitely difficulties if you look at the start of our season. It wasn't an easy season for us, but I think our determination showed, and just our commitment to what Carl was putting us through. We started with a new coach and a new setup from the start of the year, so it took a bit of time to get there, but we had the belief, and that just started to show from the middle of the year, and really pushed towards the end of the year. It just all came together.
Not the first time that you've finished really, really strongly, and a lot of you that play for Inter come from a long way from Salisbury to play for the club. What is it that keeps you there? What's the special ingredient that makes the club be as successful as it is?
There's a few things, but just the environment that the club creates, the girls that they want out at the club, the coaches they select, the staff that are around. It's just a really welcoming environment, and something that keeps you coming back, because it's just a really enjoyable time at the club, and they treat you really well.
All the best for the game, Chance.
Thank you.
So now we'll take some time just to touch on the road to the final and those contrasting journeys. So, of course, last time West Adelaide did play was against Inter in their final. It was 2-2 after full time and extra time, and only West prevailing on penalties after that one. Of course, on the call for that was Paul. What were your impressions of that game, Paul?
It was a really, really good game, and both sides took the lead. They both had to come back, and it was a really tight game. I think if you look at the stats, they're pretty even. So both teams showed that they were able to fight it out when they needed to, but they were also able to sort of take the initiative. And I think 2-2, if it had been a normal league game, we'd say, well, that would have been a fair result. Of course, there had to be a winner, and it went to penalties, and West Adelaide were successful. So we could have a similar game today. Yeah,
absolutely, especially when West, dominated against them during the season. We had 4-0 and 5-0 wins. To have that in the final bodes well for today, I think. We now go to both coaches who we interviewed earlier for some final words. We are joined by head coach of West Adelaide, Costa Yarrick. Welcome, Costa. It's your return to a head coaching position after a 2-year hiatus with an assistant position. Already 2 trophies under the belt. How would the treble cap off that year for you?
Look, it would be fantastic. I'd be lying if I'd say that it wasn't something that we were really aspiring to now that it's come to the final day. But I think what we've achieved this season already has been significant. Today would just be the cherry on top.
And your last match in the final series, you did come up against Inter. It was probably one of the biggest challenges for the team of the season so far. What learnings did you take from that match to bring into today?
Yeah, look, we really understood that they're willing to go the distance. They've got the ability to. We've always respected them when we've come up against them. They've shown a little bit of versatility now in how they might approach us. So we've prepared for multiple scenarios, and hopefully today it works out for us.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Costa, and good luck for today. And we're now joined by Salisbury Inter coach Carl Maynard. Carl, big shoes to fill coming in as head coach for the reigning champions, but here we are contesting silverware at the grand final on your first hit out. What do you credit that success to?
Look, I think, to be fair, I always credit this to the players, and I know that sounds a very cliche-ish thing to say, but without the players, we're not here today. So we, like you say, it's big shoes to fill. We set our goals, and halfway through the year we said, you know what, we can get here and we can win it. The players believed that, the players performed, so today's their day.
And you haven't yet beat West this season, but 2 weeks ago you came very, very close, only going down in penalties. Did that game give you some confidence and some learnings to bring into today?
Look, make no mistake about it, West Adelaide are an excellent side, and I seem to have spent most of my life in the last few months trying to figure out a way to beat them, to be honest. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, we pushed them, and I think that we can be even better today. So we're in with a shot.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carl, for your time.
More than welcome. Thank you.
Well, the atmosphere is electric down here as we are moments away from kickoff to find out who will be the 2024 Go Sunny Solar Women's National Premier League champion. Will it be West Adelaide completing the treble, or will Salisbury Inter go back-to-back? Last year we had the longest grand final in NPLSA history. Is it more of the same today? So stick with us after these messages. We'll have kickoff and all your lineup information.
Welcome to the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WMPL Grand Final. This match between West Adelaide and Salisbury Inter should be absolutely brilliant. We will soon be seeing the teams, well, they are lining up, and we will soon have the anthems. They're having the introductions of the President of Football SA, Jane Rathjen, and CEO Michael Carter, and from both teams represented in the lineups. Today, Salisbury Inter are in the away shirts, wearing their green or mint kit. West Adelaide will be in the traditional blue and white. These teams only met 2 weeks ago, and that game went to a prelim, to a penalty shootout. And that just goes to show how tight it is between these two sides. We're about to have the national anthem. Stand by. From kickoff of the grand final of the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WMPL Grand Final. West Adelaide trying to achieve a treble. They've won the Premiership. They've also won the WMPL and WSL Cup, the Knockout Cup, and trying to win the treble for the second time in 3 seasons. But Salisbury Inter, they're the defending champs. Won the grand final last year after an epic match against NTC, which was only decided by penalties. And Salisbury Inter have come strong at the right end of the season. They'll be the underdogs today, but they've been on this stage several times before. 2 captains, Nicole Blackett and Nicole Calder. Nicole Calder and Chantel Ryder will probably share the armband for Salisbury Inter today as co-captains, as they've done many times in the past. And the stage is set for what should be a fantastic game. It's a beautiful afternoon here at Jeps Cross in Adelaide's northern suburbs. Not much wind at all. It's nice and cool despite the sunshine. There's West Adelaide's lineup. They've made one change to the team that defeated Salisbury Inter on penalties just 2 weeks ago. They're bringing back Lily DeCola in place of Yasmina Enadam into the starting 11. DeCola was not 100% well 2 weeks ago, had a bit of a virus. But that is the team that we were expecting West Adelaide would put out if they had a fully fit 11. One change also for Salisbury Inter, and it is a tactical change, with Zoe Jackson coming back into the side from the team that defeated Burkalla a week ago, and Selena Cravo going on to the subs bench. Now, Zoe Jackson started 2 weeks ago when West Adelaide and Salisbury Inter played the major semi-final. Wasn't in the team last week in the preliminary final between Salisbury Inter and Burkalla, but has been brought back, and what that might mean is that Emily Condon will play in a more advanced position in the Salisbury Inter team, possibly up at number 9 or close to it. So Salisbury Inter pulling the selection change for tactical reasons. Let's see how it works out. Both of the teams are in their huddles at the moment. Plenty of grand final experience out there. These are the two teams that have been the best two teams of the 2020s as we come up to the halfway point of the decade. Both playing in a grand final for the third time in the 2020s. Of course, they met in the 2021 grand final. Inter won that by 3-2. West then won the 22 grand final against Adelaide City by 1-0. And last year, Salisbury Inter finished 2-2 against NTC. And we went to penalties and they won that shootout by 7-6. And it looks like it's going to be Salisbury Inter with the kickoff. As we mentioned, they're in their mint away kit. They're kicking to the right as you see it, and that is to the northern end here at Service FM Stadium. And we are away in the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WNPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro. And there's an early touch for West captain Nicole Blackett. Gets it back to Johns and Costanzo. Johns, patient. West in possession. McFarlane. Back to Costanzo. Johns now has a bit more space to push into. Wants to get the ball out to Mullen. It's fallen to Burnett. Nishitani's there for Inter. Erin Hood. Here's Tolland. It's going to be an Inter throw. Nishitani is going to leave it for Chantel Ryder. Ryder, the left of the three centre-backs for Salisbury Inter. Nicole Calder in the middle of the back three, and Hannah Freer, the right centre-back. And their wing-backs, Mina Nishitani on the left, Jess Signoriello on the right. Midfield, Zoe Jackson, as we mentioned, into the side, Jazz Stiles and Zoe Tolland, and up forward, it's Condon and Erin Hood. West back four from left to right. Laura Johns, who's on the ball now. Vic Costanzo, Gemma McFarlane and Emily Hodgson. In the middle, Lily DeCola, as we mentioned, back into the side. Leonotto and Harriet Burnett. And up forward, Nicole Blackett, Mallory Mullen and Georgia Macri. Here is Freer for Inter. Calder, I should say, back to Comley. Mallory Mullen just coming to force the kick. And that's worked out for West because they'll have the throw, which Johns will take. And attempt by Mullen to flick forward, cleared by Comley. Headed by Notto. Johns. Mullen. Trying to find some space. Clearance has come out to Hodgson, but that might fall to Condon. No, McFarlane's there. DeCola. Costanzo. Here's Emily Hodgson. Burnett wants to get Macri going. Macri just not quite able to keep that in on the attacking right for West Adelaide.
Throw-in to be taken by Ryder. Just played 3 minutes in the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WNPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro. Hodgson. McFarlane gives it back. Most of the early possession and territory with West Adelaide. Both these teams just settling into their stride in the early minutes of this game that will decide the 2024 championship. McFarlane. That should be Calder's. And the clearance has come to Emily Condon. And Condon wants to get Hood going, but McFarlane's covered the run and will put it out for a throw. Salisbury Inter on the attacking left with Nishitani. Jackson offers. Hood's up the wing. That's where it goes. Back to Nishitani. Hood. Trying to get in there is Condon. DeCola clears for West, and that might find Burnett. And Burnett's got the ball over to Blackett, who's had to bring it down. Ball was high. Blackett waiting for options. Laura Johns has made the move on the left. And DeCola as well, but Comley should come out and clear. Gets it to safety. Throw in. DeCola. West just trying to work it up the attacking left, but Freer has come to clear the ball. Now it's a chance for Erin Hood to run onto it. Touched by Tolland. Notto is Ryder for Inter. McFarlane with the clearance, but Hodgson's able to keep it in. Burnett doesn't quite get to Macri, but Mullen's there. Macri and Nishitani battle. And it's gone out for a throw. And really pleased to be able to welcome to commentary Adelaide United midfielder Dylan Holmes. Welcome to the game.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. What a beautiful day for a grand final.
It really is a fantastic day for the game. We were just talking about how it stayed relatively still, and I know you'd rather be playing today, Dylan, but you played in the prelim. We'll just pause for a moment because Lily DeCola's on the attack there and has kept the ball in, and it might come to Blackett, but it's been cleared. Notto might try to get the shot in, but it's going to go wide. You played a week ago in the preliminary final, and it was a really blustery day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very blustery, and even the week before was quite windy as well. So nice to see such a lovely day for the grand final.
And what thoughts have you had coming into this about both of these teams and how this might play out?
Well, I think they've definitely been the most consistent teams through the season, so they very much deserve to be here, which is fantastic. And I've been really looking forward to watching today. I think it's going to be a real arm wrestle between these two teams. A lot of experience on both sides, a lot of good results recently, and I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
Well, you mentioned the experience on both sides. Of these starting 11, of the two starting 11s, there are 9 players in the Salisbury Inter team that have played in the grand final before, probably not surprising, and 8 in the West Adelaide side that have played in one before. The only players playing in the grand final for the first time as far as the starting teams go, the 2 centre-backs for West, Vic Costanzo and Gemma McFarlane, and Leah Notto. And for Inter, it's Hannah Freer and Zoe Jackson. And Zoe Jackson is the selection story of this game. I don't think there's been one quite like it in a WNPL grand final. Zoe Jackson made her WNPL senior starting debut just 3 weeks ago in the qualifying final win for Inter over Comets. Last year only played reserves and junior matches in the Football SA program, and had only come on as a sub in senior matches before the final series, so that's a really big selection move by Inter.
Yeah, really incredible stat. I think it's fantastic for coaches to choose players clearly in good form, and you know, when you're in a grand final, you want your best players, in-form players playing, and she's clearly impressed in the last few weeks, so congratulations to her. Here's
Emily Hodgson. Certainly plenty of experience there. Good challenge by Tolland.
Gets it up the wing to Hood. Hood under pressure from McFarlane. That's going to be a free for Inter. Of course, Zoe Toland played with you in the 2022 Grand Final for Adelaide City. And even though young, has probably already got plenty of big game experience and being part of the Adelaide United setup for the last couple of years as well.
Yeah, that's right. She's grown a lot, I feel, since that last Grand Final, having some experience with Adelaide United in the last couple of years, and she's really done so well in that midfield role for Salisbury. She has a very good engine on her. She looks to connect the play, and she's one that will just keep running through the 90 minutes, if not 120.
Voice you're hearing is that of Dylan Holmes. Great to have you on board. Adelaide United midfielder, Matilda Cap 209. And we also have another player with a senior cap for the Matildas on the field, Emily Condon, who is famously cap number 200. Playing for Inter in a more forward role than normal, I should say. Clearance by Comley. This might work out. It's just beaten Signoriello out. And Johns with the throw. Rory Johns, 5 seasons with Adelaide United as well. There's Jackson with the header. McFarlane's able to hook it away. Styles comes through. Hood. Now Styles has got some space here. Might be the first chance to get a really good ball in. Styles with the cross. Condon. McFarlane was in the right place. It's come to Signoriello for Inter. Signoriello, and it's just gone over. It was probably an attempted cross, though Signoriello scored a cracking goal against Berks a few weeks ago. Match you were in. Ended up being goal of the week that week, as such a clean strike from right on the corner of the penalty box.
Yeah, very similar spot to where she scored against Burkella a few weeks ago, like you said. So she's very dangerous in those areas, and good to see Salisbury on the front foot and looking dangerous early.
Here's Blackett. Johns. Speaking of grand final experience, Nicole Blackett in her 5th. Of course, I'm with a player who's also played in 5 WNPL Grand Finals. Know this fixture well. Now, that's a nice ball clipped over, just a little bit too much on it for Erin Hood on that occasion. Murphy. Out to Hodgson. Needs to get Macri going up the wing. Ryder's there. Jackson touches it down for Toland, but Burnett's come in. I'm going to give you an even better stat coming up with Harriet Burnett in a moment, who's on the ball now for West. Hodgson. And it's going out for a throw. Harriet Burnett is playing in her 4th WNPL Grand Final. It's the first time she's been in the starting 11. The other 3 came on as a substitute on each occasion.
Wow.
So
that's really hard for me to believe, because I feel like she's been such a fixture of this West Adelaide team. But yeah, that's an incredible stat.
It is, and just says a lot about what a great side they had in 2022, and they won the treble that year. Harriet was going at nearly a goal a game that year, but was still not in the starting 11. Came on for Mallory Mullen during that game, so it's a richly deserved selection today for Harriet Burnett. Ryder's throw to Nishitani. Macri's there. To Kohler. Coming through now is Mullen, trying to find space. That might come through for Blackett. And that was a really important challenge in the end by Freer, who's had a tremendous season in the Salisbury Inter defence. Coming over from Fulham United. And Kohler not able to keep the ball in on that occasion. It's going to be a throw for Ryder. Just had a couple of little half openings, I guess you could say, for both sides, but probably both defences on top at this stage.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what's gotten both of these teams to the grand final, or at least a very big part of it. They've had very strong defences. They don't concede a lot of goals, so I'm expecting a fairly low-scoring game just because of that. I think it's going to be a little bit cagey to begin with as the teams try and figure each other out, but I think both of their back lines have been very, very strong through the season.
Yeah, and Inter in particular are playing a system which allows them to, throw's just going to need to come back for Nishitani, a system which really allows them to clamp down on opposition teams if they wish. They've got 3 centre-backs, they're playing 3 across the middle, when with Emily Condon being one of the top 2, and I'm sure Emily will be dropping into the midfield areas a lot, they can really get players between the West forwards and the goal. There's Costanzo. Blackett. It's only Mullen ahead. Calder's going to cover off the run. Gets it back to Comley. Bouncing ball, but Comley's struck that well. Just over Jackson. Hood. Trying to dink it past Hodgson. Hodgson recovers well there. And that's going to be a throw in for West. Just in the right back position. Here's Notto. McFarlane's managed to clear. Hodgson clears as well, but it's come to Calder for Inter, who loops it back. McFarlane with the header. Could probably have let it go there to Erin Murphy in goals. Tolan trying to come through. He's going to get a free kick. Played a tremendous game when these sides met 2 weeks ago, Zoe Toland. Really, for the entire 2 hours, as you mentioned, such a hard-working player, and worked incredibly hard that game and effectively in the Inter midfield.
Yeah, she's been so important for Salisbury this year. I think a lot of the good things they do really do come from Zoe's work in the midfield. She's literally everywhere. She covers all blades of grass, so it's been really nice to see.
Nishitani to take the free kick. Goes towards where Calder is. It's been headed away. That's going to be a free kick for Calder's challenge on Johns. 15 minutes of the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WMPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro, played 0-0 between 2 teams, 2 clubs that have been at the top of this competition, not just this year, but for the last few years. They meet again. Emily Hodgson, Burnett. Calder's come through and won the ball. It's a bit hot for Hood. Hodgson takes over. Switches it to Johns. Wants to get Blackett going, but Signoriello's in the way. Blackett's won it back. Stiles wins it, and we'll get a free kick for Inter. Hayley Routley is down at ground level. Hayley will come to you in just a moment. Matt Crees is just trying to get Decola going, but Ryder's going to clear. How have you found things at ground level? Is it loud on the coaches' benches, or it seems a little bit tepid from where we are at the moment?
A bit more action when you're on the ground level. Both coaches have been up and about, and prior to that Nishitani free kick, we did actually see Costa kick his chair over in the technical area. So it is heated already in the first 15 minutes down here in front of a full grandstand. What's also interesting about West Bench is they've named Hannah Jenkins today. She didn't play 2 weeks ago at all. She is named on the bench today, but she has received quite a bit of treatment for the first sort of 10 minutes, both from the physio and just from stretching as well. So interesting to see what role they think she'll play today, whether they're saving her for something in particular or if she's carrying something. Yeah,
it's a good pick-up, and Jenkins was doing a lot of stretching on her own at West training on Friday night, so could be a pinch hit if Hannah Jenkins comes on this afternoon. Of course, as we know, this game could go for 2 hours. If it's level after 90 minutes, we have to play extra time, and if necessary penalties, there has to be a winner today. Here's Mullen. Has Macri on the attacking right. Inboard back to Mullen. Macri wants to get Burnett going. And Ryder's able to see it out. It's going to be a goal kick for Comley, whose save in the penalty shootout last year was the decisive moment in the grand final. Inter leading 7-6 in the shootout, and it was Comley's save that decided the game, decided the championship. And I wonder if that'll happen again today. It's cruel, isn't it, to decide an entire season's work like that, but, well, that's really the way we have in the game.
Yeah, it feels very cruel sometimes when a game goes to a penalty shootout, and that's what the entire grand final comes down to. But sometimes teams are just so evenly matched that is literally the only way to separate them. So it's great experience from Inter to have that under their belt from last year going into this season's grand final. I think you take a lot of confidence from winning a penalty shootout in that way. So that will be interesting to see if we get to that point, how the shootout plays out, and yeah, who steps up.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's been in the minds of these teams that might be how things end up, but it's a long way to go before anything like that might eventuate. McFarlane plays the ball back to Murphy. Now that might be kept in by Signoriello. Hood. Good challenge by Costanzo to relieve the danger. Throw in for Inter. Nearly hit the 20-minute mark. It's going to be another throw. Jackson. That was well anticipated by Blackett. Got it inboard to Mullen. Freer challenges, but Mullen holds on. It's not able to keep that one in. I feel like the game hasn't really got to a high pace yet, and maybe both of these teams, that's not necessarily deliberate, but probably not just wanting to stretch those opportunities or take those risks just yet.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's, in a way, risk management. I think no team wants to leave themselves too exposed too early in the grand final. I'm guessing the game plan from both of these sides is to ease into the game, stay solid defensively, and build as the game progresses.
Now, could this be an opportunity for Hodgson? Calder comes over to clear. Hodgson overlapping as we see so often. Macri has been in terrific form in these last couple of months. Leonotto wants to just get a little ball. It was a good idea, but didn't have a runner to come on to that pass. Noto playing as the 6 today for West Adelaide. Very versatile though. Will push forward if necessary. McFarlane. One other strange old grand final stat is that in the 4 previous grand finals that West Adelaide have played, they've taken the lead all 4 times, but only one in 2022. The other 3 times they were pegged back, and twice by your Adelaide City sides of that time, Dylan, and once by Salisbury Inter in the grand final of 2021. Here's Blackett on the attacking left. That's a good ball, and had to be dealt with by Chantel Ryder, but West have their first corner.
Yeah, that was a good move from West Adelaide. Getting Nicole Blackett in those positions is very dangerous, and good ball through, but good defensive clearance by Chantel Ryder.
It's going to be Blackett to go over and take the corner. Can swing it in. Not a huge number up for West. They've left 3 outfielders outside the 18-yard area. Blackett's gone short to one of them. It's Burnett. The ball's bouncing hard to control. Burnett's just hooked it back inboard. Nishitani with the header. DeCola puts it back into the mix. And Mullen trying to get the ball out to Notto. Holds on. Wants to get it back to Mullen, but Tollins is in the way, of course. They'll be teammates with you, both players, very shortly. Well, you've started pre-season training, haven't you?
Yeah, we started this week. So for the girls playing today, it's been a big week, both physically and probably emotionally as well, leading into a grand final. But great to see them all out on the park.
Hodgson's cross there, nearly got to Blackett, but Burnett is able to get it back to Johns. Johns with the cross. There's players here. Macri doesn't quite get to Macri. Good header by Ryder. Tolland helped the ball away. First couple of questions asked perhaps by West Adelaide. Johns. Condon trying to track Laura Johns. It's a good ball up to Blackett. Freer in the way. Throw in. Well, a couple of the players at Adelaide United training opposing each other today. Was there any banter during the week at all?
Oh, a little bit, talking to the girls about coming and supporting and who we're going to be cheering for, and yeah, a little bit of banter, but these girls have all known each other for a very long time, so all harmless. Yeah,
no, I'm sure it was. It's in the Adelaide United camp, but all of these players would absolutely love, I'm sure, to go into the A-League W season with a WNPL championship behind them. Free kick for Inter. Long from Calder up the attacking right. Johns will win that. Here's DeCola. Just gone past, and Ryder gets it out to Signoriello. Styles wants to clip it over now. Get Hood one-on-one with Gemma McFarlane. McFarlane will win that. It's gone out for a throw at the 25-minute mark of the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WNPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro. Johns now wants to prevent the corner and able to clear well. Out for a throw. Calder. It's just gone past everyone, and that's going to go out for a goal kick. Well, at this stage of the match 2 weeks ago, the major semi-final between both of these sides, it was 1-1. And really, though, don't think we've had anything other than a couple of small openings. No shots at goal yet. Who will make that happen first? Costanzo. Johns. Blackett. Closed down quickly by Signoriello, but manages to turn. Blackett up the left wing now. Tries to get the ball in for Mullen, and Macri's there. Oh, and it deflected off Macri. And a desperate final clearance from Calder, who will get the free kick, and that was probably the best opening we've seen so far.
Yeah, what a fantastic ball across from Blackett. Those are the balls that strikers dream about, getting served on a platter, the defense behind the defense line, so they're tracking back towards their own goal. It's so hard to deal with. So yeah, exciting to see. First, a kind of really big opening, I would say, in the game, and yeah, hopefully this is the floodgates are opening now for both teams, and we'll see a bit more of that.
Yeah, definitely a good ball in, needed dealing with. Conley, Motto's there for West. Just a bit of head tennis at the moment. Gets to Mullen. Blackett wants to clip it over to where Macri is. Macri comes together with Nishitani. It's going to be a free kick for Inter. And Nishitani in her fourth grand final, the first of which was as a West Adelaide player. It was in 2019. Signoriello. Styles. That's good. Here's Hood, and Condon's in the middle. Deflection, and it's the first corner for Inter.
Good move from Salisbury Inter, and Emily Condon was in a fantastic position running in on goal. If that ball had made it to her, I think it probably would have been 1-0 to Salisbury Inter.
Yeah, it was good defending in the end. Had to be. Nishitani, two-footed player. If you're not familiar with these teams and these players, so can swing it in from either side. Wind, if anything, as you can see from the corner flag, is favouring that end. Nishitani. It's come to the back where Calder is. Hasn't been dealt with. Condon, it's pinballing around. It's been brought back in and it's an own goal in the end off Mallory Mullen. There really wasn't much she could do when the ball was centred. And Inter have taken the lead in the 29th minute. Well, really got down to not being able to get the ball out of the danger areas.
Yeah, that's right. On a day like today, on this field, when there's a bit of wind, set pieces can be incredibly dangerous. And Salisbury's shown through the season that if you don't clear the ball, they're there.
Yeah, it is going to, unfortunately for Mallory Mullen, it is going to go down as an own goal. The ball had been squared by Erin Hood, and in trying to clear, it's gone into the net.
Yeah, those are so unfortunate because you have to do something in that moment, and sometimes it works, and sometimes the ball just comes off your foot the wrong way, but she really did have to try and do something. Yeah,
absolutely. There were players, Inter players buzzing around everywhere. Well, we're just talking about the fact that West have scored first in all those grand finals they've played, in all four, and ended up losing 3 of them. Inter have conceded first in their 2 previous grand finals and went on to win them. So the absolute reverse of that has happened today.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how West Adelaide responds to this. So they've had a fantastic season so far. I'm not sure they've been behind in too many games through the years, so I think this will be a new challenge for them, and I'm excited to see how they respond.
Here's Hodgson trying to do just that. Has Mullen in the middle, who will be keen to attend. Well, that's gone very close in the end to the top corner of the goal, but it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, not a bad effort from Emily Hodgson at all. You just can't afford to give her that space on the sideline. She's very dangerous in those areas.
Absolutely. About to commence a 9th season for Adelaide United, Emily Hodgson. I think somehow today we've got 3 of the 4 highest appearance getters for Adelaide United involved today. Emily Hodgson for Salisbury Inter, for West Adelaide. Emily Condon for Salisbury Inter, and Dylan helping call the game.
Yeah, Adelaide United flavour today.
It really is. And of course, other players, just pause that thought for a moment, because Macri might get onto this, and that's going to be claimed by Pomley. But of course, there's also former players of Adelaide United as well as current players out there as well on the pitch today. So plenty of experience. Even someone like Georgia Macri, who played 3 seasons for Adelaide United a while ago now, but absolute fine wine, Georgia Macri.
Yeah, that's right. She is so experienced. She somehow manages to stay at her very high level every season.
Good ball by Hodgson there, but Comley was alive to it. Manages to claim. Yeah. Speaking to West coach Costa Yarich during the week, described Georgia Macri as the assist queen this week. Has been at the heart of so much, and this could be another instance again. On the attacking right, Macri. Ryder was there, but it is going to be a corner for West Adelaide.
Yeah, she has absolutely been the assist queen. I think a lot of what West Adelaide does and the way they score goals is getting their wingers in good positions and playing balls into the box, whether on the ground or in the air. And that's Macri's bread and butter. She's fantastic at that, getting the ball in wide areas and putting good balls into the box.
Here's the corner from Blackett. Nearly got to Costanzo. Trying to turn back in is Mullen. Condon will just be able to clip it away. Signoriello, but it's been won by Costanzo. DeCola wants to find Mullen. Calder's in the way. Freer. Freer had mentioned that Hannah Freer was at Fulham last year. A couple of players on the subs bench as well that were at Fulham last year. Tessie Mitchell for West and Selena Cravo also for Inter. And Leah Notto, when we talk about great grand final stories, there are 3 players in the squad that were in a side that were relegated last year. And of course, Leah Notto was in the Modbury Vista side that was relegated in 2022. Here they all are, playing in the biggest game of the year.
Yeah, it's great to see sometimes how a change of environment can really bring out the best in players, and that's clearly been the case for Leonardo. She's had an outstanding season for West Adelaide.
She really has. Good clearance by Freer. Should go all the way through to Erin Murphy. Yeah, it's been a very, very good season for Leah, as it has been for just about every player in blue and white. But they're behind now and need to find a way back. They've got it in them, we know. A massive goal scoring machine through the year. His styles for Inter. Freer. Headed by Costanzo. Jackson. Clip over by Styles, just got a little bit too much height. That'll go for a goal kick. Heading into the last 10 minutes of this first half. I don't think there's been a stoppage of note, so it could well be either no stoppage time or maybe a minute. Costanzo. Notto. Under pressure. Jackson comes in and wins the ball. Tolland. Condon. There's numbers forward here for Inter. And that was an important interception by McFarlane. And now Hodgson's got some space to push into. Good challenge, Ryder. Condon. And now it's going back the other way. Chantel Ryder's kept the run going. Ryder now squares the ball. Costanzo was exactly in the right spot. DeCola, but that was a big moment potentially for Inter. Nishitani's header has gone backwards from an Inter point of view, and suddenly West are going to have a throw and a bit of end-to-end action there. Mullen. Hodgson. DeCola, who scored in the cup final for West Adelaide when they were behind. Good ball by Blackett, maybe. No, it's just gone out for a goal kick. Angle deceived me just a little there. And, well, I think one thing that is a positive for West is that it's been second halves where they've been extremely effective this year. Well, they haven't been ineffective in the first, but they really have poured on goals in the second. So I don't feel like they'll be too lacking in confidence going into the break.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really handy thing to have up your sleeve, is having good second halves. I think they can take a lot of confidence through the season if they ever have been down, that in the second half they've normally been able to turn it around.
Of course, there's still a bit to play in this first half, so we're not writing the half-time briefs just yet. Hayley, just down to you on the sideline. I haven't spoken to you since the goal was scored. How was that? Well, obviously we know one team will celebrate, one team will be disappointed, but how was the... Whoa, hang on a second. We'll just come back to you because Hood's broken free here. Erin Hood with a chance to make it too. And ended up coming off the outside of the foot. And once again, Inter nearly breaking through. But how was the reaction to the goals, Hayley, and the minutes since on the benches?
Yeah, so obviously the Inter bench was very happy with that one. The mood is definitely dampened on the West bench. You could kind of feel that they lifted about the 25th minute. They were getting frustrated with the 0-0, and then unfortunately they went on to concede there. But we do know with West that they do play an attacking press. They are very confident in Erin and their defence. So I'd imagine we will see them continue to push. There is also quite a bit of conversation going on between the fourth official, Tom Brinkworth, and the West bench as well. So I think they're a little unhappy with some of the decisions so far, but we'll see how that plays out.
No worries. Thank you, Hayley Routley on the sideline. Getting action, and Erin Hood has broken away again. This time I think the ball might go out of play though, and there's a couple of times that Inter have just sprung West open there.
Yeah, she's been fantastic on transition, Erin Hood, making some really great runs, and when you have players in your back line that can hit balls in behind the West defense, it's a really good option to utilize.
Played in the very first WMPL game that Salisbury Inter played in their first WMPL season in 2017, Erin Hood. Came on as a sub in the winning grand final in 2021, the first championship for Inter. And always a player that I feel like is never far away from scoring, sometimes even when you least expect it, Erin Hood.
Yeah, well, she's looked very dangerous and very lively today, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see her on the score sheet at some point.
And there is Hood, but that ball inboard has gone to Notto. Johns. West haven't really found their stride in these last few minutes. Notto. Oh, that's gone to Tolland. Condon. Inboard. Oh, and it's just gone past Hood on that occasion, but it's come back to Nishitani. It's back to Tolland. Condon just wanting to bring the ball under control and does so. Condon looking for the ball in. It's not a bad one. Will it come to Styles? It's been cleared, but here's Jackson. Still going Jackson. Trying to get the shot away. DeCola had Jackson under pressure. It's come to Hood. Danger's not over for West. Hood wants Signoriello, but Matt Cree's come back to help him do the defensive work and wins a free kick. And West looking unusually shaky at the moment.
Yeah, Salisbury are so well set up right now. I think West loves playing out from the back, but Salisbury's being very patient. They have their block of 5 and their 3 midfielders, and just like you saw there, Zoe Tolan was very proactive and was able to step in and pinch the ball, and straight away they're transitioning to attack.
Blackett has done the traditional switch. We've got talking between switch and swap there with Macri. Coming to the right, Macri going to the left. Jackson tackles Notto there and gets it to Styles. Calder wants to get the ball out to West, and Uriello is on the attacking right, but Laura Johns should have that covered for West. Header from Macri will be able to hold on to possession here. Notto. Burnett. That's good. Hodgson. Here's an opportunity. Mullins ahead, but uncharacteristic error there from Hodgson. But probably just reflective of how things have gone for West in this last little period since they went behind.
Yeah, and I think, when you look at this grand final run in the final series and you think about the teams that have to play every week to make the grand final and the teams that, get a bye the first week and then win that prelim final and make it and not get another week off, it's interesting to think about in terms of the consistency of games you're getting. I think Inter having played every week since the end of the season, I think in some ways can be a real advantage.
I'm glad you made that point. 2 years ago when West won the championship, they had the same pathway through. They finished top, had the week off, then they won the major semi-final, had another week off, and well, my view was that even though they won the grand final against the city side that you were in, wasn't really their best performance that evening, and it could have easily gone the other way.
No, I think playing in that game, I felt being with Adelaide City, we'd had to really fight our way to the grand final, and we kind of got to develop a bit of rhythm with the games that we were playing and kind of get that match hardness built up over those 3 or 4 weeks, and when we went into the grand final, we felt really good. So it's a really interesting one. I think there are pros and cons to both, but I think for me, in some ways, I'd rather be playing every week leading into a grand final.
Yeah. Conley just trying to work out if the ball's going to make it to the penalty area, has to clear in the end. Here's a chance for Mullen to shoot from distance. Freer is there. Macri, DeCola gets the ball under control. Hodgson back to DeCola. Are these promising moments for West? Perhaps late in the first half. Johns wants to get a ball in. There are plenty of players in the penalty area. If Johns can find the ball going herself, Laura Johns is going to get the free kick. And this is a dangerous spot. I've got a pretty good feeling I know who's going to take it.
Yeah, I was going to say there's surely only one person for West Adelaide that's going to be stepping up to take this. But yeah, great experience from Laura Johns. I think that's what West Adelaide needs a bit more of, players running at the Salisbury Inter defence with the ball, trying to draw players out, trying to draw fouls, and this is a really dangerous situation for West Adelaide.
Johns, Macri and Blackett behind the ball, and we probably both think that Blackett is the favourite to be the taker. It's in a good spot for the right footer. Every Inter player is either in the penalty area or in the penalty area and in the wall. Here goes. Touched for Blackett. Charged down, and it's been cleared. A couple of appeals for a penalty, but didn't seem to be any real likelihood of that. It was Hood that did the defensive work there for Inter. Macri wanting to get Johns going again. Ball just might be seen out there by Calder, and it's going to be a goal kick, and Inter are very, very close to maintaining their lead into the half-time break. Just some overall thoughts on the first half.
Yeah, it was definitely a very cagey start to the game. I think both teams trying to figure each other out and try and not leave themselves exposed too much at the back. But as Salisbury's done time and time again, they've capitalized on set-piece opportunities, and now we're in for a very fascinating second half with West Adelaide trailing at the break. I'm very curious to see how they're going to respond and how Salisbury's going to come out and play in the second half. Are they going to try and push for a second, or are they going to sit in their block of five and then their three midfielders in front and try and just absorb the pressure that West Adelaide's going to put them under?
It's come out to Hodgson. We've just got 10 seconds left of the 45. About to see if there's going to be any extra minutes here. It surely won't be more than one, but we shall see. Here's Hodgson again. It is just 1 minute that will be added at the end of the 45. Just seconds now. If West are going to possibly find an equaliser. Mullen. Bit of traffic there, and it's going to be a goal kick. And down to you, Hayley. How's the atmosphere now with half-time approaching?
More agitated on some of the calls there, especially that late penalty shout there. Tom Brinkworth has made it clear that that was a no-go, and the arms were definitely close to the body, but you can feel the tension rising down here. Inter will be very happy to take this 1-0 lead into the sheds.
They certainly will, thank you, Hayley, and they're very, very close to doing that. Notto just trying to get a last ball forward, but it's going to run through to Comley, who will just draw out every second. That is half-time in the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WNPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro, and the score is West Adelaide 0, Salisbury Inter 1. An own goal from Mallory Mullen under tremendous pressure is what separates the teams, and Salisbury Inter will be absolutely delighted with that half. But there's a long way to go. Dylan Holmes, West Adelaide, they've got so many avenues. Do you think they'll be looking to make some reshaping early, or just wait and see how things go until they know in 20 or 30 minutes time whether they still need to score or not?
Yeah, I don't think they need to make any major changes. I think a lot of what they do just needs to be done with a little bit more intensity, a little bit more drive. I think getting players like Blackett and Macri and Johns and Hodgson on the ball in good areas wide, getting good balls into the box. I think they just need to do more of what they're good at more often. And I think if they do that, then we're in for a very exciting second half.
We certainly are. We probably are going to be able to see a couple of highlights or stats of the first half shortly. An early opportunity for Blackett getting a ball in, and gee, that header was in a more dangerous position from a clearance point of view. They can easily go in as well, talking of own goals.
That's a fantastic clearance from Ryder towards her own goal. Ball coming in at pace.
Nishitani with an important clearance there. And here's the goal, and it's really very, very difficult for Mullen in that situation.
It's hard because if she doesn't do anything there, Emily Condon is probably there to tap it in. So
there's also a deflection before it gets to her as well.
Yeah, that's right. So whenever you're on the goal line, it's really hard.
There was an opportunity for Hood that might have been in two minds there about whether to square or shoot. Didn't really get hold of the shot in the end. So another promising attack, but Macri was able to break that down and win the free kick there. And his Blackett's attempt was Hood that, yes, and the arm is well into the body there. So no question that that was no penalty. So the stats are pretty light here. Only 3 shots to 2 in favour of Salisbury Inter, and only one of those on target. And that's not the goal, by the way, because that wouldn't be counted as a shot on target. Just the 3 corners, 2 for West and 1 for Inter. And only 7 fouls, and it has been a pretty clean 45 minutes. But all of that points to me that there's a lot to come in this game.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a really, really exciting second half. I think the teams are going to go in, make any of the adjustments they need to make. But I think now the players know the task at hand and what needs to be done. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the second half goes.
Thank you, Dylan Holmes. We're about to take a little bit of a break, but don't go anywhere. Keep this broadcast rolling on your YouTube channel, because in a few minutes' time, we will bring you the second half of the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WNPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro. Just a reminder that the halftime score is West Adelaide 0, Salisbury Inter 1.
Welcome to 5AA Football Fives. No skills, no worries, no time to train, no need. Perfect for friends, family and kids. It's fast, fun football for everyone. So spend your summer nights under lights and register now at football5AA.com. Proudly powered by 5AA, Always Adelaide.
Please make welcome back to the group playing West Adelaide and Salisbury Inter.
Final brought to you by JB Metro, and it's between West Adelaide and Salisbury Inter. Half-time score here is West Adelaide 0, Salisbury Inter 1, and I've been advised that there are no substitutions so far. Both of the teams coming out of their huddles. West Adelaide will be kicking from left to right as you see it. That's to the northern end here at Service FM Stadium, and they have it all to do. Absolutely delighted to have Adelaide United midfielder Dylan Holmes with me on commentary today. Dylan, we're about to start the second half. It should be fantastic. We expect West will really come out firing now.
Yeah, I'm expecting a really high-paced, aggressive West Adelaide coming out for the second half. They really need to step it up a little bit, and I think they have all the capabilities to do just that.
Yeah, we're about to get the whistle from today's referee, Ethan McCormick. This assistants today are Ellie Seaton and Joseph Boychevsky. The fourth official is Tom Brinkworth. Today the referee coach is Daniel Bryant. Here's Emily Hodgson trying to get West on the front foot early in this half, but had two opponents for company, and Toland is going to clear up to Condon. Condon now holds on, has found some space, just waited for the run of Signorillo, but in the end played it back to Calder, who's found Nishitani. Nishitani swinging a miss, but is able to recover. Styles, Calder, just a bit far ahead there of Condon, so Hodgson's going to be able to clear. Here's Ryder for Inter, had a good first half. Called along. It's going to be headed by McFarlane. It's gone over Nishitani. Just not settling just yet, but Ryder will now have the throw. Nishitani again. That's better. Gets it over to Condon. Brings it in boards. It's gone behind Styles though. Styles in a foot race with Laura Johns. It's pretty hard to beat Laura Johns in that situation.
And great release pass by her too at full speed.
Blackett now takes on Freer. Blackett, Calder comes over to cover, and Calder's done well there to win the goal kick. Salisbury Inter not ready to give up this lead.
Yeah, this is exactly the situation Salisbury Inter want to be in. I think 1-0 at halftime. Their strengths are their defensive resoluteness. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how West responds.
Almost seems anomalous that in the home and away season, West Adelaide defeated Inter twice, 4-0 and 5-0.
Wow, that's an amazing statistic.
And here we are. They played out a 2-2 draw in the major semi-final, which West then won on penalties. And here we are with Inter leading and Erin Hood on the move. He's going to give up the throw though. Overall, in the meetings between these two sides, West does have the advantage. This is the 27th meeting in either the WNPL, the WNPL finals, or in the WNPL WSL Cup. West have won 12 of those. Inter have won 8 and 6 draws, although one of the draws is the match that was played 2 weeks ago, which had to be decided by penalties.
There have been some fantastic matchups between these two teams over the years. I think two very strong clubs through the history of the WNPL, and yeah, it's great to see that the results have been somewhat even, I would say.
It has been in these last few years especially. There was a... I'll just come back to that in a moment. Matt Cree. Notto's pushed up into the middle here for West. Hodgson, and it just fell into a position where there were a couple of players together and not quite sure who was going to be best placed to take possession. But remember, if I think back to about 5 or 6 years ago when Adelaide City and Metro United had been so dominant, the two teams, 13 straight championships won by either one of those clubs, and these two clubs started snapping away in the late 2010s, and here they are. We're about to have a 4th straight championship now won by West or Inter.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to see the growth of these two clubs and the investment that they've put into their women's sides. You know, Salisbury Inter in particular, I remember when they were first promoted to the WNPL, and to see where they've come from and see where they are now. They have a really strong foundation for success, and it goes to show that teams coming up from the state league, if they put the right plans in place and resource the program well, that you can reap the rewards of that moving forward.
Mallory Mullen wins the corner there for Inter, for West I should say. Mallory Mullen was in the Inter squad in 2021 in the grand final against West Adelaide, was an unused substitute. I think there are 2 reasons for that. Firstly, Inter had an absolutely star-studded team that year, but from memory there'd been a few injury issues for Mallory at the time and probably wasn't risked in that game. Here's Blackett with the corner for West. looking to equalise. It's into a good area. Can Costanzo get on it? Calder was there. Mullen trying to get hold of the ball under pressure from Toland. Mullen, that's a good ball back in. Oh, and it just ran past Macri.
What a fantastic ball from Mallory Mullen. That's a really dangerous area, especially when a backline is stepping up like that to put a ball back in, getting them facing their own goal. Wow.
Oh, that was even closer looking at the replay than I think I'd initially thought.
What an opportunity for West.
Comley goes to the left-hand side from an Inter point of view. Hodgson gets it back to McFarlane, who switches it to Johns, who's got heaps of space. Mullen getting into that number 10 pocket. Hodgson goes the cross to try to get it to Notto. Mullen! Well, we've seen that before. That could have very easily been the equaliser.
Yeah, I think the more West can get Mallory Mullen on the ball in those midfield pockets, she's just going to link the play and end up in positions like that, top of the box, unmarked, and good effort with a ball that was hard to deal with.
It's definitely been a shape change for West. Leonotto's gone to 9, the centre forward position, and Mullen's dropped in behind.
Yeah, very interesting move from West, but one that seems to be working quite well in the early stages of the second half. Macri
just can't quite keep that one in. Played 52 minutes of the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WMPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro. West Adelaide 0, Salisbury Inter 1. The upset is on. It seems weird talking about an upset when Inter are the defending champs, but West have been so good this year. And just the one defeat all season. But, well, you know what can happen on Grand Final day.
That's right. Anything can happen on Grand Final day.
And that's going to be a foot raise there against Costanzo. Free kick right on the halfway line for Inter. Yeah, I think one of the things that, and you touched on this a bit, is these two clubs, they do so much right in these last few years. They've been very, very effective operations and very good environments.
Yeah, that's right. And players want to go to clubs that have those things in place.
Ryder's free kick, Calder's up there, Costanzo's there, and it's been hooked in almost by Condon, who was quite able to get a clean shot away there. Hodgson. Macri. Hodgson runs onto DeCola. Notto, Mullen, just all a little bit close together. Here's Jackson. Toland. Signoriello. Manages to get the ball under control, gets it to Styles. And Styles has played a good ball in here for Toland. Oh, the flag's gone up. But not a bad move by Inter, and it's probably a pretty marginal decision there in the end, but yes, it is offside. Billy Seaton, the assistant referee on that side. Hodgson. Now, Burnett might be able to... No, it's going to run on too far, but it is going to be a corner. Another one for West. I just wonder if they need to find something other than the traditional delivery here, because obviously Inter have got some really good defenders when it comes to winning headers.
Yeah, that's right. I think Salisbury Inter's strengths are aerial presence and putting a ball kind of in the air, and that's Salisbury Inter is very good at dealing with that. So West has some very technical players. I'd love to see them try something short, but looks like it is going long.
It is long, and it's not a bad one again, but Ryder's able to head it away. Burnett. Signoriello can clear. It's come back to Johns. Mullen. Still going Mullen, driving into the area. Clearance by Ryder. It's going to come back to Johns. West can keep the pressure on. Mullen's let it run, but Condon was there for Inter. Inter were able to get it up the right-hand side through Styles, but DeCola was there for West. Condon now can push into space here. Emily Condon, there's only really Erin Hood, and that's, well, I was about to say a good challenge by Burnett, but will to be a foul. And Ryder's gotten on with it because Nishitani's free on the left. Nishitani Hodgson now facing. Tolland, Nishitani. It's going to be a corner now for Inter.
Great play from Inter to play that free kick early when West wasn't quite ready and quite set up. So they get their due reward with a corner.
Yeah. And of course, as we mentioned, the ambidextrous Nishitani can swing it in with the right. Doesn't take the short option. Long and Calder! It's going to be another corner. Cole Calder sneaking around the back, won the header, but deflected out for another corner.
Great ball in from Mina Nishitani. That's a very dangerous area to put a ball.
Another opportunity to deliver. This time in swinger with the left foot. Here it comes. Calder's there again. That was won by Noto. Costanzo can't quite get it away. It's come out to Nishitani, who can deliver another cross now. And maybe the shot. Oh, goodness.
What an effort.
That was an interesting shot. She sort of played a bit of a slice almost to just try to loop it into that back corner.
Yeah, the technical ability to pull something off like that is pretty amazing. So an audacious effort from Nishitani, but yeah, fantastic to see.
Styles, Freer, Signoriello, and they're not sitting back on the lead, are they?
No, and that's so great to see. I was really hoping that Salisbury would try and push for a second, just in terms of the pace of the game, and so yeah, it's really awesome to see Salisbury pressing and pushing and trying to create on transition.
Here's Johns for West, and even though the balance of play hasn't been their way, certainly I think as far as quality goes, it is still just 1-0. It does still just take one moment.
That's right. One moment of magic from either side is all it takes to really change this game. And there are players on both teams that have the quality to be able to pull something off.
And I do well remember that in the late 2010s, the Adelaide City sides that you were in would sometimes look like they were nowhere near scoring a goal, but just had an extraordinary ability to do so when it was needed. And that's a mark of a great side, I guess.
Yeah, it's the sides that can, that are consistently winning, but the ones that can win when their backs are against the wall, they're 1-0 down in a grand final, the sides that can create something and dig themselves out of a hole to find a result. Those are the true kind of champion sides in my eyes.
Macri with was a difficult chance there. Out for a goal kick. We're getting close to the hour mark. No substitutions made. Might just throw down to you, Hayley, for a bit of an update at how things are at ground level.
We saw West walk out with a steely determination after halftime, but I couldn't move the West staff into giving me any indication about what the halftime talk was about. That's in contrast to Carl Maynard, who was sitting on the bench with a coffee, which I kind of think was iconic. But as this game goes on, I think West will try and keep their starting 11 on as much as possible. If we look at their benches across the season, they've played 21 different players on their bench. So I think, it doesn't speak to the talent that's on the bench, but if they haven't had the opportunity to get the chemistry with the team, I don't think they'll be looking to kind of insert them into the game at the moment.
Thank you, Hayley, down at ground level, for updating us on how things are on those benches. And I can imagine it's pretty tense in the West camp. And they do have players, and it's a good point that Haley made, that those subs have not all had a huge amount of time in the first 11, certainly compared to the players that are on the pitch. But somebody like Kelly Tataran, who's got a very, very strong goal-scoring record, was top scorer and player of the year for Modbury Vista in 2021 in the WSL. Tessie Mitchell, who came on and scored in the cup final against Sturt Lions when the game was still in the balance. And Hannah Jenkin, who we were talking about a little bit before, is a forward. So what might they do? At the moment, they might be on the back foot, but Erin Hood is unable to keep the ball in on that occasion. McFarlane. Oh, and Condon nearly got there, and Tolland. Condon. McFarlane closing Condon down. Condon getting away, and the ball in the middle is nearly, and it is held in the end by Murphy. Just for a moment, thought it might have come out of Murphy's gloves.
And again, another great step from Zoe Tolland to pinch that ball in midfield and get Emily Condon on the ball in a really dangerous area on the top of the box.
DeCola. And seems to have come off awkwardly from playing the ball, but with DeCola back on the feet now. Hodgson. Great challenge again by Tolland. And McFarlane's just going to have to play back to Murphy. Good ball there to Burnett, but Jackson has come in and closed down. It's a free kick to West, though. It's taken quickly. Hodgson. Notto. It's just gone out. I do remember Notto scoring some clutch goals for Modbury Vista, which very, very nearly kept them up in 2022. So wouldn't rule Leah Notto out. Throw in for Inter. It's waiting for the ball to be given to Chantel Ryder. One of the players that was quick to go to Inter not long after their promotion to the WNPL, not in the first year, but Ryder had been with Adelaide Uni, joined Inter in their second ever WNPL season. Blackett. Goes the shot! It's hit the bar! It must be scored by Notto! It's 1-1 in the grand final! The flag has gone up! It won't count! It's offside! Oh. Joseph Wojciechowski raised the flag, and West Adelaide's search for an equaliser will need to continue. It was a great shot by Blackett. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see it again. And tipped onto the bar, and well, on that view it does look like the correct decision.
And those are those moments of magic we were talking about. Taking chances, taking shots, forcing the keeper to make saves, having players fall up. Like, those are the moments that are going to change the game. And West Adelaide was very, very close for that to happen just then.
Haley, reaction to that downstairs? We've just lost Haley there, but hopefully we'll be able to chat to her again in a moment. And Blackett just plays that ball out, and the look on Nicole Blackett tells you everything about that moment.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than having a moment like that ruled off for offside when you think you've scored.
Signoriello. Condon. Signoriello.
Forces another throw. And do you sometimes think, well, if you're in, say, Inter's shoes, do you sometimes think that's a sign it might just be our day?
Yeah, sometimes in moments in grand finals, those moments that go your way are sometimes signs from the divine that it could be your day. But they still have a good 25 minutes left to play, and yeah, so we'll see if it was in the end.
Battling there were Burnett and Tolan. That's going to be a free kick to West, and Burnett moves on to Macri. It's going to be another free kick. Mullen. To Kohler, who wouldn't want to be on the losing side of the grand final against Salisbury Inter for a second straight year. Being the NTC side last season. Johns has found Notto on the attacking left, but Notto needs a bit of support. Burnett's inboard. It's been coughed up now, and here's Jackson. It's going to come out to McFarlane for West. McFarlane, oh, that's gone right into and possibly winded Toland. Play will go on. It's not a head. Well, no, in fact, the referee, Ethan McCormick, has blown for a stoppage.
Yeah, those really hurt. So
Yeah.
I hope Zoe's okay. It looks like she's getting to her feet. She's one of the toughest players I've played with, so I'm sure she'll be just fine.
Yeah, we'll probably restart with a drop ball to West. Costanzo. Johns. Burnett. Johns. Burnett. Pushes inboard, tries the shot. Hit Calder and cleared. Hodgson now. Out to the attacking right. Macri. It's out for a goal kick, and these moments are just all seem to be going against West at the moment, but still 1-0. We're about halfway through the second half of the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WMPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro. West Adelaide going for the treble, what would be the second treble won by West in 3 seasons. Inter going for 2 straight championships and 3 in 4 seasons. Clubhouse leader of who is the WMPL club of the 2020s is being decided right here at the halfway mark of the decade. Nishitani. Burnett. DeCola. Johns has space. Johns goes the shot, and it's hit the bar again. Would you believe it? No penalty given. And to be fair, Mallory Mullen hasn't reacted like somebody who believes that the spot kick should have been awarded. But goodness me, West have hit the bar twice.
Wow, what a strike from Laura Johns. Oh my goodness, so close again. Unfortunately, the ricochet off the bar didn't fall quite as kindly to Mel Mullen, who looks like she was in an onside position rather.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be a free kick to Erin Hood. The West bench, I think, are getting pretty frustrated, but I think it really boils down to a lot's just not going their way so far this afternoon. This game has taken the shape of the classic upset, and they have to just keep their composure on the pitch, West, to find that equaliser. Macri, intercepted by Freer. Styles, good play there by Notto. Johns
and was, I think, hoping for a run that didn't come. It's going to go out for a goal kick. And I think referee McCormick has heard enough and is going to the West bench now and showing the yellow card to their coach, Costa Jaric. So the first yellow card of the game does not go to a player. It goes to the West coach. And goal kick for Comley. Who will be a champion with Inter for the third time if she can keep a clean sheet for these next 20 minutes. Play restarts. Here's Mullen. Trying to take on Toland. Good challenge, Nishitani. Toland, Jackson, Styles. Condon now. Turns Costanzo. And tries to release Signorello. Johns was there. Here's Jackson, who also wants to release Signorello. That's a really good ball by Zoe Jackson. Here's Signorello now. There are players in the middle. And it's nearly come to Hood. Might come out to Styles. It's still with Signorello. The danger hasn't passed for West. Ball comes into Styles. Goes over. Play on. Free kick is going West Adelaide's way. Taken quickly. Costanzo now. Hodgson. Toland in the way, but it's going to break back to Emily Hodgson. Into Kohler. McFarlane. Johns now. Blackett. Battling there with Signorello. Blackett's going to win the battle. Bring the ball inboard. Nishitani's there for Inter. Probably might have played back there, but looped the ball forward and has lost position. DeCola. There's too much on that for Notto. And you're starting to think at this point, when a game is going like this, that you're really starting to run out of time. Even though 18 or so minutes, does it feel like it might be, the time is starting to sort of close in on you?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's important for West to kind of keep their heads in these moments. They still have plenty of time. The temptation to just try and play it forward as quickly as possible is there, but I think if they can control the ball more, and they'll control the game. And I think the passages where they've played through Inter, they've looked really, really good.
Hodgson wanted to get Notto going there, but it's gone out to Comley, who will draw Notto to the ball. And look to go long. Up towards Hood. Johns puts it out. Throw for Signorello. Battling away there are Hood and Blackett. It's going to be another throw to Inter. Blackett with the header. It's going to be yet another throw. Signorello again. Johns. Blackett. It's hit Styles. Battling with Mullen. Blackett has it. Jackson came through. Calder. Freer. It's come back in West's way with McFarlane. Hodgson. Costanzo. Johns. Jackson's down at the moment for Inter, but play continues. Costanzo. And there's the header. Here's Toland, who takes on Hodgson. Burnett giving chase, wants to get the ball out to Condon. Jackson's gotten up, but doesn't seem to be moving particularly freely. Erin Murphy wants to let the ball out and manages to do so. Now, Jackson might be coming off here, and what a terrific game Zoe Jackson has played in just the third start in the WNPL for her. Coming on, and another player coming on who, like Jackson, has not even yet made a WNPL senior start. That's Talia Gromball onto the field. And Nikki Frizzetto has also come on for Salisbury Inter in place of Signoriello. Frizzetto was one of the heroes for Inter in their grand final win last year. Long from Calder. Costanzo. Oh, and that touch went down to Hood. Costanzo recovered. DeCola. McFarlane. Hodgson. Toland again coming to close down, but Hodgson might be able to keep going there. He's going to get the free kick. And Gromball, his first action in the game, challenging Hodgson, might have resulted in a bit of a knock there.
Yeah, very tough challenge on Emily Hodgson, and looks like she's come off a little bit worse, but great to see the aggression. She's come on, she's energetic, and she's straight into it.
Free kick. It's going to go long from McFarlane. It's over Notto, but it's going to make it to Blackett. Blackett trying to get in board. Frizzetto was there. Hood. And Frizzetto, fresh onto the field, can keep the run going, but that was just put a bit too far in front of the Inter fullback. Murphy now. DeCola. Time is becoming West's enemy. Hearing that message from Haley that Tataran might be coming on for Burnett, who's just played that ball. I might throw down to you in a moment, Haley. What are you hearing at the moment? We got you there, Haley?
Yeah, got me there. Sorry, Paul. Yeah, West looking to make an offensive change coming up soon, as we say, with Kelly coming on. She was the Anne Sargent medalist when she last played in the WSL. In contrast to Inter's subs, where they're throwing on some youth, they've still got quite a bit of experience left on their bench in terms of Ruri in particular. So it'll be interesting to see whether they inject her a bit later into the game. Yeah,
they absolutely might. Thank you, Haley, at ground level. Of course, Ruri Nagashima is an option for Inter, and they might also, as the game goes on, drop Condon deeper. But at the moment, they're on the back foot. Nicole Blackett's going to have to give chase here. Holds on to possession. Blackett turns. Does well. Has three players for company in the end. And Styles has won it, and he's going to be able to keep it in. Styles puts it up the wing. It's gone out. Throw for West. And looks like that change is about to be made. Kelly Tataran is coming on for Lily DeCola in the end. So Tataran, obviously a much more forward player than DeCola. So it is a tactical change by West Coast Kostiaric. First one of the game for West Adelaide. McFarlane. Hodgson. Macri. Shitani in the way, but it's going to fall back Macri's way. Hodgson gets the ball in. Comley claims. We are into the final 10 minutes of the 2024 Go Sunny Solar WMPL Grand Final, brought to you by JB Metro. The upset's on. Treble chasing West Adelaide 0. Salisbury Inter chasing the defence of their championship 1. Frizzetto with the throw. Condon. Mullen for West. Blackett. That's a good ball in search of Macri. He can bring it down and play it to Hodgson. Gets it back from Macri. Hodgson wants to get Mullen going on the attacking right. That's going to come to Matilda Comley. Great to have Adelaide United midfielder Dylan Holmes with me this afternoon. And Dylan, I feel like West just have never really gotten into their stride that they would normally, and that they're not, there's no lack of effort, it's just not working out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the West that we've seen.
Or is it now with Tataran? Freer wins it. Tataran wins it back though. Macri, Burnett, Styles is there. Might fall to Mullen. Still Mullen charges on. Freer is there and clears. And we'll get a free kick. Sorry, Dylan, do go on.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think West hasn't probably really gotten into this game in the way that we've seen them throughout the season. And I think you can see them that they're pushing now, but I think in a lot of ways they're not playing the game that they've built their such successful season on, in terms of playing out from the back, getting people on the ball in wide areas. I think they're trying to play the ball along in central areas, and I think that plays right into Salisbury Inter's hands.
Yeah, and we do get back to that fact that they've only played once since the home and away season ended 4 weeks ago. Now, they've had a couple of hit-outs, one against Campbelltown, who joining the WMPL next year, having won this year's WSL, and also one against Football SA NTC. But it's just not the same, is it? You just can't recreate these conditions.
No, you can't replicate the competitiveness that finals games brings in those kind of friendly games that are, potentially played at different times of the day than what you're normally playing at. The stakes are nearly as high. So, yeah, I think in that sense, Salisbury's maybe had a bit of an advantage going into this grand final in terms of the fact that they've been playing competitive games week in, week out since the end of the season.
And here's Gromball, but it's coming out. That's going to be a free kick to Notto. And I guess there's a little bit of a sliding doors moment. I'll just pause that moment. Mullen has hit it, but only found Nishitani. Tolland. Nishitani not a lot ahead. Condon trying to get to the attacking left. McFarlane clears. Tataran's header. Macri now. Nishitani takes over though for Inter again and prevents the corner, but it's going to be a West throw. Wasting no time. Hodgson, Tataran. Offside against Hodgson. That's just another one of those little frustrating moments, isn't it?
That's right, and it just really disrupts any momentum that West Adelaide's building when there are offside calls like that. Yeah, I think it's been a frustrating afternoon for West Adelaide, and it'll be interesting to see in the last 6 minutes if they can create any significant chances.
McFarlane's header. Calder's header. It's going to go out. But we're talking about a sliding door moment. 2 weeks ago when these teams met and they went to penalties, the Salisbury Inter were actually leading the penalty shootout and missed their last two. And you just wonder if it might have worked out better for West if they'd had a game last week. And I know, with all the greatest of respect to your Burke side, which pushed Inter really hard and took the lead through a goal from yourself, Dylan, Inter might have been better for that hit out.
Yeah, exactly. I am a true believer that like every game you play, you get a little bit more match hardened and just the rhythm of playing every week. When West Adelaide's been used to that through the season, and then to not have that in the most crucial point, I think is a big factor.
Blackett headed away by Calder. Condon has 3 West players around her. Oh, and that's been really, really well won by Tolland. Tolland continues going. Condon's forward as well. This could be the grand final. Tolland, that's a tremendous challenge by Hodgson, but Tolland again. Saved by Murphy.
Wow, what a recovery from Emily Hodgson to get back and make that challenge. That, who knows, that could potentially be a match-defining tackle from Emily Hodgson.
Ryder. Styles. Frizzetto. Keeps going, but challenged by Johns. Notto to Blackett. Johns. Mullen. Continues on. We'll get the free kick. Good refereeing there by Ethan McCormick, who was just waiting to see if the advantage was going to be there, and when it wasn't. But what a recovery.
Wow. Yeah, it looked like Zoe Tolland was well in behind in a way, and Emily Hodgson showed her experience and also her incredible pace to get back and make that crucial challenge. A challenge where if she doesn't get that spot on, that's a penalty to Salisbury.
Absolutely. Erin Hood just down at the moment for Salisbury Inter, getting some attention. And does look in a little bit of discomfort.
Yeah, she's put in a big shift today. She has been everywhere for Salisbury, making really good runs in behind, pressing the ball. It looks like it's a bit of cramp, and if it is, that makes complete sense because she has run a lot today.
I might just go down to Hayley if you're there. It looks like Cravo and Nagashima are coming on. Do we know who's coming off?
Not quite yet. Oh, there we go. But it just shows its intent from Salisbury Inter that they are going to continue to attack right to the end, even with the 1-goal advantage. So we're still in for a very exciting last few minutes.
We absolutely are. And it's, thank you again, Hayley, down at ground level. And it is, in fact, the front two being changed. It's a perfect swap as far as positions go. Obviously very different players, but here is the free kick. It's going to go out for a corner. So Cravo and Nagashima on for Condon and Hood. And I just get the feeling that that is a move that's being made with victory in the 90 minutes in mind. Not so much any possibility of extra time. We shall see. Laura Johns' corner has gone along the ground, but it's going to come back to Johns. Chance to get a good delivery in towards the back post, and the header in has hit the post, I think. And here's Costanzo wanting to get the ball away. It's been scrambled away for a corner.
Wow, getting very exciting for the last couple of minutes of the game.
Well, you wouldn't expect any different. That was a really thoughtful ball by Johns. And
a great save by Comley there.
It was a save by Comley, and the other corner has gone out for a goal kick. So I thought initially it had hit the frame of the goal yet again for West, but credit to Matilda Comley for the save. Calder. It's just sliced that one a little bit like an errant golf shot. It's gone out for a throw. 1 minute plus whatever time there is for stoppages. And Hayley, if you're down there, any idea yet how much extra time?
We've heard minimum 5, so still plenty in this yet.
Minimum 5 minutes. Thank you, Hayley Routley, for that update. We've only got 45 seconds until the 90 are up, but as you heard, 5 extra minutes. 5 minutes that could change everything. Nagashima's first touch. Blackett gets the ball forward. Calder has just misjudged on that occasion, but he'll get a chance to make amends and get it to Cravo. Also trying to get the first touch in. Here goes Nagashima trying to come through. Nagashima, who scored last week, wins the ball. Styles wants to get Cravo going. All alone Cravo. Murphy's going to have to clear to the safety of the line though, and that's just playing into Salisbury Inter's hands. They will want to keep the ball in these sorts of situations as much as possible. West have it now through Mullen. Tataran. That ball was read by Tolland and cleared. Has had another tremendous game, Zoe Tolland.
Yeah, she has been everywhere today. She has been absolutely fantastic.
Mullen. It's in the sun for a few players, but Calder got there and Styles heads on. McFarlane. Styles pushes forward. Mullen and Styles battling. And that's not a bad ball for Nagashima. Nagashima tries to get under control, and the shot from Tolland. Salisbury Inter are 2-0 up, and Zoe Tolland, who has been absolutely outstanding with a tremendous finish, which will surely send the title back to Underdown Park. Unbelievable.
If anyone deserves a goal today, I think it is Zoe Tolland. What a finish from her.
Absolutely superb. Good play from Nagashima early. And just laid it off to Tolland, who immediately knew that Murphy was off the line. Look at that snapshot. How about that?
Yeah, great vision from Tolland to recognize that Murphy was off her line, and she got just enough behind it to chip the keeper and seal Salisbury Inter's 2-0 lead.
Well, it's been a huge year for West Adelaide. They have had so many things that have been so positive this year. And not just talking about their performance, which saw them win the premiership by some distance and win the cup, but they were able to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of their first ever WNPL game this year. It was played in 2014, and they were also able to celebrate their first WNPL games at Kilburn. But all these positive things, unless there is a huge, huge finish in these last few minutes, one that would, even by the standards of things that we've seen in recent weeks, Dylan, would be unbelievable.
That's right. If West Adelaide could pull off a 3-goal turnaround in the last 2 minutes, it would be pretty remarkable.
Yeah, the one thing that's going to elude them this year, in this terrific year for the club, is going to be the championship.
Doesn't take away from the fact that they've had an outstanding season. I still believe that they've been the most consistent team through the entire WNPL season, and they can hold their heads up high on what they've achieved, regardless of the result today.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And, you know, we talked about the strength of both these clubs in recent years and how many things they get right both on and off the field. But it had to be one that was going to win today. And Salisbury Inter are going to do it again. Nishitani can just kill the time now in the corner. It's going to be a free kick to Hodgson. Well, it's a throw-in taken. But this is a huge win once again for Salisbury Inter. They just never know when they're down.
They're such a good team in the final series. No matter how their season's gone, if they've made the finals, they're gonna find the form that it takes to win games, and they've shown that again this year in terms of maybe not being as consistent as West Adelaide through the regular season, but come finals, they've been really, really good.
And just have players that know what's required on this day and in these big matches. and it's paid dividends for them yet again. Third championship in 4 years is just a few seconds away from Salisbury Inter, for Salisbury Inter. And there it is, 2021, 2023 and 2024. Go Sunny Solar WMPL champions are Salisbury Inter. It's going back to Titletown. An unbelievable performance. An unbelievable team. This club, you just cannot give it enough positives. They've been absolutely amazing in these final series. And once again, they will be celebrating on the last day of the season. Dylan Holmes, how can you wrap that up?
Wow, what a game from Salisbury Inter. They were well structured defensively, they were strong, and they took their chances. They took advantage of the own goal, and then for Zoe Tollin to cap it off right at the end, I think was well deserved given the balance of the game. And yeah, credit to them. They've had a fantastic final series, and it was a really great game to watch as a neutral. So congratulations to Salisbury, completely deserved, and commiserations to West Adelaide. But again, what a fantastic season both teams have had.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And West Adelaide, well, I know you would disagree, Dylan, but I'm almost a little bit relieved that they got that grand final win in 2022, because that's their 5th grand final, this one, and they've gone down in 4 of them, unfortunately for them, and they've just lost to a team which is 3 out of 3 when they've made it to this game, which is just remarkable. Now, Hayley Routley, I think, is ready with Nicole Calder of Salisbury Inter.
I've managed to snag Nicole quickly, co-captain of Salisbury Inter. Nicole, you've managed to co-captain your side to another championship win. Not many people get to do that once, let alone multiple times and 2 years in a row. How does that feel?
Am I allowed to swear? It feels... It's fucking brilliant. Sorry, I just have to. But there's no better feeling than winning a grand final. I know winning the league, that takes a lot of hard work. Westies have been incredible all year. But I love final series because anything can happen on the day. As we've shown, we haven't beaten them all year, and then we won today. So,
and you spoke midweek about that never say die attitude of Salisbury Inter. Where does that come from? How do you keep turning this around in grand finals?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of teamwork, discipline, just staying focused, not getting ahead of ourselves. So we haven't actually planned anything if we won, because we didn't want to get ahead of ourselves. You know, there's no T-shirts saying champions or anything like that. But we will be celebrating. We'll celebrate tonight, we'll celebrate tomorrow, and we'll celebrate Prezos next week.
Perfect. I was going to ask you about your Mad Monday celebrations, but it sounds like there isn't any. Carl looked quite emotional there at the end. Is this something that kind of has been building within the club the last few weeks?
I think so. He gave a pretty emotional speech before the game, just saying that he's so proud of us and that he's inspired by all of us. Before coming into coaching this year, he was pretty much done with football. I'm calling it football now because I've been to the UK and that's just what happens. And he said that us girls have turned that around for him. So I think this feels amazing for him as well.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Go and celebrate with your friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Hayley, for grabbing Nicole Calder just before or during, I guess, the celebrations for Salisbury Inter. The West Adelaide players, it's not quite in shot at the moment, but they're in a big huddle, and I'm sure that their coach, Kosta Jaric, right now is telling them that today might not have been their day, but as we mentioned, Dylan, they've had an amazing year where they've played such brilliant football.
Yeah, they've played a fantastic brand of football all through the year. It's been really refreshing to see some new faces at West Adelaide, some young players, and players that have really come into their own as the year has gone by. So I think they have a fantastic foundation to continue to build on, and I'm sure we'll see them back better and stronger next season.
And we mentioned that Hayley mentioned that Cole Maynard was a little bit emotional, and Hayley Routley has him now. Go ahead.
Thanks, Paul. Yes, I am with winning Salisbury Inter coach Carl Maynard, and he does mention that he is quite emotional. We can see that on your face there, Carl. What exactly is going through your head right now?
I don't know how we got to this, but these girls, I told you beforehand, they're a special set of girls. Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to say. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for Bianca and Tam. I don't know what to say.
And Salisbury Inter did re-announce your re-signing midweek. Did you feel there was a bit of pressure on your shoulders to repay the faith and thank them there?
Not really. Not really. You know, look, we just wanted to have fun and do the best that we can. And everyone acknowledges that that's what we're about. We just happen to believe that if our best is good enough, do you know what I mean? And everyone knows that. So I can't add anything more. No, absolutely no pressure at all. I've just enjoyed being around these people.
Absolutely beautiful, Wes. Thank you, Carl. Go celebrate with your team.
Yep.
Thank you, Hayley, with the victorious coach, Carl Maynard. And in the 3 titles that Inter have won in these last 4 seasons, they've had a different coach every year. It was Simon Catanzaro in 2021, Tony Scalzi last year, and Carl Maynard. And one thing that's happened this year, Dylan, Carl has changed the way they've played, and they've come out and won the title under him. So it's not just, it just goes to show, you know, the off-field stuff, the people that are running the clubs and the people that are creating the environment, and the players as well. I mean, it's all knitted together for this club.
Absolutely, and I think it shows what a healthy position Salisbury Inter is in, to have 3 different head coaches. You know, potentially that could pose a lot of unrest within the playing group, but credit to the players and credit to the club. I think you can see they've stuck together through the last 3 or 4 years, and they're creating something very special at the moment.
And I'll just mention something. We talk a lot about club culture. I don't want to overdo it, but I was out at their training session on Friday night. Katie Bowler, who's injured, was out there with the cast on her leg, walking around, collecting balls as they went out of play and throwing them back to everybody. I mean, and that's amazing from Katie, but, you know, she wants to be there also. I mean, that's where they are as a group.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, even though she's injured, she, I think, recognizes that she still has a really important part to play in the week leading into the grand final and on the day itself. So, yeah, that is a testament to the culture they've created at Salisbury and to Katie herself.
And the referees just being presented, or the officials, I should say, being presented with their medals. Referee Ethan McCormick, assistants Ellie Seaton and Joseph Boycheski, the 4th official Tom Brinkworth, and Daniel Bryant, the referee coach. And this is, I feel like this isn't a great time, is it? I mean, you've won this fixture 3 times, you've lost it twice. It can't be great coming up and getting this medal. No,
it's not a medal that any of these girls are wanting, but I hope they can recognize that they have had a really great season, and you know, to get to this point is an achievement in itself. So yeah, again, not the medal that any of these girls are hoping for, but yeah, they've had a really outstanding year.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be back. There's no question about that.
Oh,
I don't think West Adelaide are going anywhere. They've been. I've talked a bit about these last 5 years, you know, the 5 seasons of the 2020s. They are the most successful team when you measure it by wins, draws and losses over that season, over the season. Twice, of course, they've finished top. And, you know, we you know, if you're a traditionalist, obviously that's the way that, you know, titles are normally decided. So, you know, there's some huge achievement here.
Yeah, no, I think for them to have the record they've had in the last 4 or 5 years is remarkable. And yeah, I completely agree with you, Paul. I think this isn't the end for them. I think they'll be back bigger and stronger next season. Yeah,
I've got absolutely no doubt. Player of the match. The suspense. Nicole Calder is the player of the match. Obviously, in a game like this, when you are playing against a strong attacking force, the defence has to stand up. And it really did today. And I think all 3 centre-backs were really excellent today. Herself,
Chantel Ryder, I thought, was really won a lot of battles in the first half, and Hannah Freer's just been a revelation this season.
Yeah, no, I think the backline at Salisbury Inter has been probably one of their biggest strengths as the season's gone on, and it gives them such a solid platform to build on in playing these finals games. It's what they say, defenses win championships, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So, player of the match, Nicole Calder, and now here come the players to get their winners' medals. This is the medal you really want, of course. And there's Matilda Comley up first for Salisbury Inter. I'll allow a quick peek behind the veil. Matilda Comley is actually a work colleague of mine, so I'm looking forward to seeing her in the office this week. If she brings the medal, that would be pretty awesome.
Well, I'll be very surprised if she's in the office tomorrow morning. That would be quite remarkable if she shows up for work tomorrow morning.
I'm going to speak to her team manager, and I'm going to say, look, if Matilda hasn't taken the day off, can you just be a little bit lenient, please?
That's right. That's the least she deserves after today's win.
Yeah, absolutely. Kept a clean sheet. Pretty sure that we'll see the replay. Pretty sure that Comley pushed the shot from Blackett onto the bar, which was otherwise almost certainly goalward bound.
Yeah, she had a great game today. Everything she faced, she dealt with it in the best way possible, and big credit to her. Clean sheet in a grand final. What an achievement.
All the players and substitutes coming up, and this has been a real squad effort. We'll let the interview go ahead. Let you hear the interview of the players.
So we've done it 2 years in a row. So good round of applause.
How was it playing in front of the crowd you had today? Different the whole time.
They were hard for every single game. They were well deserving, definitely. Thank you to the crowd, to the club, to the committee, to everybody, and to these girls that played on the pitch with us. Couldn't be prouder.
Co-captains, it's been the arrangement for several years at Inter that Chantel Ryder and Nicole Calder, the terrible twins, have been co-captains of this side. And now the rest of the Inter contingent comes forward to receive there's the medal going to their coach, Carl Maynard. There's Tamara Simeone, the closest to the left of camera. Her, Bianca Simeone, they do an amazing job running this club. They really, really are working so hard to keep this team successful and make it a destination club.
That's right, and it's the work of people like that really drive the success of these teams. Salisbury wouldn't be here without the two of them, and it's important that they're recognized in this moment as well.
And here comes the trophy for the third time in 4 years. It's not just 3 trophies in 4 years or 3 championships in 4 years, and it's not just the glory. This is greatness. Salisbury Inter, once again, are the champions of South Australia. Credit to the West players. It's a tough one for them today. It always is tough to lose a grand final. They stayed out and for all the trophy presentations, but that's a grand final. There can only be one winner, and it's gone to a team that is just so unbelievably proficient in these games. There's some players that didn't get on today who have been a big part of this squad as well.
Angelique Vreugdenberg, an unused sub. Look at Carl. He's so happy. You know, they headhunted Carl. He didn't. I don't think he applied when the job was vacant, but Bianca, Tamara and co, they thought he was the person, and look at that. He couldn't be happier.
Very smart decision from Salisbury Inter to appoint him, because he's done a fantastic job with this group, and he deserves to enjoy every moment of this success.
He certainly does. Isabella Coimsis out there as well, who's been injured throughout the season but was a part of Inter's grand final win last year, and 2 years ago, of course, Katie Bowler, who we mentioned, is out there as well. They're all part of the Inter family, going to be posing for photos. Zoe Jackson there just was holding the trophy. Just love the faith that was shown in their young players. It's just fantastic, and I think a huge credit to Carl that he has given those players those opportunities when he knew that it's easy to stick with the tried and trusted, isn't it?
That's right. It takes a really brave coach, I think, to give young players opportunities in games like these, and I think the potential for that to succeed it was just fantastic to see Jackson have such a great game today and be so instrumental in Salisbury's win.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the sign there, the Hannah Freer fan club. Good for every player to have one, I think. Absolutely. Again, just part of the vibe, and interposing with the photo with their fans behind them.
What a photo that is going to be.
That is great.
Yeah, isn't it?
And Inter's been a club that, you know, they've been in the WNPL for 8 years, but they've been running women's programs and women's football since at least the turn of the century. There's nothing new about that. And just looking down at the sideline, and I might just throw to you in a second, Hayley, for a few final thoughts from ground level. But I think now we're probably going to see the players just really let their hair down and enjoy the situation. Hayley, just on ground level, some thoughts from you about what you've seen.
Yeah, what an absolutely amazing grand final to be a part of, and I know you can testify to this, Paul, that every WNPL grand final just delivers every single year. There's either an upset or there's late goals, or it pushes us into extra time and penalties. It's always thrilling to be a part of, but absolutely beautiful just to see the emotion behind the Salisbury Inter team. That's the stuff that perhaps we don't realise is going on, and then it all culminates to us right now. In this group grand final win, where you see Carl's very emotional. They've repaid him in terms of re-signing him midweek, and the players, you know, have come together and made this happen.
Thank you, Hayley, and thank you so much for your sterling work on the sideline this afternoon, and bringing the game to us today with the presentation at the start as well. As always, wonderful job, and so much appreciated by all of us. Just also want to acknowledge some of the other people that make all of this happen. There are of course many people that you don't see that are involved in the broadcast, and two sponsors as well. I want to also do a big sing out to all the WNPL clubs. They certainly make my life a lot easier with all the help and the information they provide me. Shout out to everyone at Football SA that makes this happen. I particularly want to note Jaden Betterman and Seb O'Neill, who do so much to make this happen. Johnny Kiko Perini, who's here as well, has done some amazing work during the week in helping promote this game, as you always do, Johnny. Mate, you do fantastic stuff. I want to say something about the camera operators and broadcasters. The three people that I want to make mention of: Peter Wyatt, Chris Reichman and Tom Dreschler-Savage. Those guys are out here often getting absolutely drenched on the top of that scaffold at the other end of this pitch. week in, week out on cold nights in June and July, and they do an amazing job for us all. The sponsors, JB Metro, RAA, SA Power Network, Service FM, and a special shout out to Go Sunny Solar, who began a 3-year naming rights sponsorship for the WMPL and the WSL last year, which is something that I'm sure everyone in the game appreciates. Dylan, just some final words from you on today's game and the season as a whole, perhaps.
Yeah, what a fantastic WMPL season. I think all the clubs have really stepped up in 2024. We've seen some fantastic football played, and this grand final was really the cherry on top of what has been a really amazing season. So congratulations to Salisbury Inter. What a win for them, and I am so excited to see what next year has in store.
I absolutely am as well, and look, congratulations to you as well. We haven't mentioned it much today, but West Torrens Burkalla, who you joined this season, playing in the WMPL finals for the very, very first time in only their 3rd season in this competition, and making it all the way through to the preliminary finals and nearly getting to this game, you know, was absolutely fantastic. And I think all of us that watched it really loved that ride.
Oh, thank you. It was a wild ride to be a part of, but it makes football great. Like, that's the best bit of football, that you never know on the day who's going to win, and like Salisbury did today against West Adelaide, it could go either way. And I think the Burkalla story was somewhat of a fairy tale run from us, and it's a club that's doing a lot of really good things, and I think this is just the start for Berks in terms of what they're building, and yeah, another story I'm very excited to see going into next year, how the club can progress, and now that the players have a taste of what finals looks like, if we can push on and try and recreate that success that we had this year.
Fantastic. And look, all the best. Well, firstly, thank you also for being part of this today and bringing your expertise and perspective of the game. Someone who's played with most of these players and or against them, and has been part of this fixture on so many occasions and part of the WMPL for a long time, and want to wish you all the best for the upcoming season with Adelaide United.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you so much again, Dylan Holmes. Great to have you as part of this broadcast. We're going to be wrapping up shortly what's been another epic WNPL season here in South Australia. It finishes with the final score in this grand final of West Adelaide 0, Salisbury Inter 2, an own goal to open the scoring, and then Zoe Tolan sealing it in stoppage time for Salisbury Inter. They're the champions for the 3rd time in 4 years. It's an extraordinary way to sign off, and we are so pleased and so blessed to be able to bring this to you. I know there's not much left of the weekend, but everyone, please make sure you have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you in 2025.